Hey comrades, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Richie. Now, if you remember from the previous efforts, the previous episode, I've cleared out the last of the Onk's Watch territory. I was looking to push into the Lightning Hoods territory to liberate everything I can from them. I'm still going to be going ahead with that. At the minute I'm just moving some of my forces into place. Just so basically I've got something to actually launch an attack with. Let's move these carriers a bit further forward. Yeah, there's going to be quite a bit of work involved in that, so it'll probably take quite a while. I think the primary goals of it, rather than taking all the territory, should just be to defeat the headquarters and to take any supplies they have. I think taking all the territories is probably a secondary priority. In the meantime, what I'm going to need to do is get some kind of intelligence on going on these frontiers with the Twin Guard, the Steel Striders, and of course the Scarlet Dawn. So with that in mind, I devised this unit. If it does look familiar, that's probably because it's the Mosquito. I've repurposed it into a construction vehicle. I've added these propellers on the side, which should tilt over once it gets in enough altitude. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is build a spy satellite, just to give us the visuals of Twin Guard territory. And thankfully, with all the repair drones it's got inside, it doesn't take long to actually build. I say repair drones, repair tentacles, I should say. So what I'll do first of all, pull this out of play and get it right up to the edge if I can. And that'll let me see everything that the Twin Guard and most of the Steel Striders are up to. And in the meantime, better get this thing airborne and going. What I'm planning to do is I'll take him to the borders with the Scarlet Dawn and the Great Talons maybe if necessary. And I'll get him to launch these sat radars just so we've got a bit of a visual on what's actually going on in their territories. The last thing I want is one of the big fleets coming in and surprising me. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll get the satellite radars in place and then have a look at what to do next with the Lightning Hoods. Okay, so looking at the map now, I've got my satellite radars in position. The Twin Guard territory doesn't look too extensive really. I think one good campaign, and especially with all the units I've got now, I should be able to take them out rather quickly. Steel Striders are pretty much the same really. I think one campaign should be able to knock either of them out of action. The Grey Talons don't look like there'll be too much difficulty either. Territory doesn't look too extensive, although I do believe they have multiple headquarters, at least two. So that's going to be somewhat interesting taking them out. The Scarlet Dawn, however, yeah, this is just the edges of the territory. You can see this is probably the south end of it. This is probably the northwest end of it, and all that Scarlet Dawn territory, possibly 150 each for the guarding units. They're actually going to be quite a serious challenge to get through to that, and it's going to take quite a while. Their headquarters, I believe, last time I conquered a map, was up here in the top corner. So yeah, I'm going to have to fight all the way through all that territory, which is going to take some time actually. I'm going to need the entire fleet to do that, but in the meantime, what I'll need to do is take some of the Lightning Hoods resources. So, with that in mind, I'm going to start taking the territories. I've got the Deliverance fully refueled now and ready to go. So I'll get him in position, get a Katyusha to cross this territory. In fact, the 26th Force, get him to cross that territory, in fact the 70th Force. And then from there I'll take that resource point and then push up this river or channel or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. And of course, Sod's Lobbying what it was, he goes the other way. But it's not like we don't have troops in position to fight that. So let's just pause for a second and see what their forces actually are. You've got a dagger, a diode, and another diode. These aren't too extensive really, so I'm thinking Probably a mobile forces can be able to handle that. So all I'll do is I'll move the carrier force up to intercept that force. And then in the meantime I'll take these territories here, this 70, 35. That should clear out, give me a bit of manoeuvring room.
Moving out.
Okay, so I've got deliverance in action against an ohm, a diode, and another diode. Let's position him there, transport to him, and well, let's do this. Of course, we're seeing the missiles go off there, and the lasers already targeting. Zoom in a little bit. Yep, we've got a direct hit on one of them already. I've put him out of the match. And I've got a hit on his friend as well. They both look like they've plummeted from the sky. In the meantime, the Ohm looks like it's taken quite a hell of a beating now. He looks like he's stopped dead in the water, pretty much. Well, almost. Yeah, he's not good. This isn't going to take too long with the deliverance on hand for these battles. Oh, thank you. And I think that's going to be it. He stopped shooting, so obviously their AI did. Yep, very long and challenging battle. And for the next battle, we have the deliverance up against a small mobile force here, which, you know what, we might as well bring this one into play here. We have the deliverance up against a tachyon, which looks quite big actually from that. Looking at the cost of it. But I think most of that cost is down to RTGs probably. We've got a dagger, and we've got a diode, so yeah, let's do this. And already the gun's coming into play there. And let's have a look at what we're up against. He's coming in rather fast. I think this is probably going to be the dagger, maybe. What is it? Yep, and it looks like the missiles have found him already, and we're going to give him a nice welcome to our territory now. And yeah, that didn't take too long at all. I do like the look and design of these guys, even though I'm trashing them to pieces. And where did his buddy go? Oh yeah, there's his buddy. What I can do is probably target him first, might as well.
Engaging now.
Ouch, and that's absolutely shredded him. Yeah, these little ones aren't too much of a challenge really, thankfully. In the meantime, let's have a look at the big one and see what he's doing. Oh, jeez, that's gotta hurt. Yeah, I guess we didn't take out his AI after all. Let's probably just took out his engines or something like that. And where was that other big one? Oh, he's yet to spawn. But I'm not going to be able to kill the tachyon, so I think in reflection I probably shouldn't have brought him into battle. So what I'll do is I'll pull myself out of battle and fight that big flying thing. And now we get a good look at him. Looks to be quite a nice aerial unit. I hate those missile spammers. This is pretty rich, you know, coming from me, considering I do use a lot of missile spam. But let's see how the laser defense does against him. Not too bad. It's not stopped a lot of them getting through. Still going to do a little bit of damage to him. By a little, I mean quite a bit. In the meantime, let's have a look at him and see what the laser's doing to him. Seems like my lasers are just a little bit behind him. Well, that's the advantages when you got something fast and light like this. You've got a pretty good chance of dodging them. The only downside is when they do get good hits, they don't tend to last very long. I do like the principle of it though. But yeah, it's coming round for another attack, and yep, I think the missiles are gonna just miss him. Typical. Meantime, let's have a look at what damage we've taken. It's actually done quite a bit, really, considering. However, it shouldn't take too long to repair. Yep. See it's already taken place. And just look at that trail of debris from him. Beautiful. And I think he's finally slowing down a little bit. Could be we've taken out some of his engines. And yes, he is going into the water there and disintegrating. GG. It's part of the reason why I'm wary of some of the Lightning Hood's units. They're quite powerful. Especially some of their expert and godly units. At any rate, let's get the Deliverance repaired. I think we can just pause him here for now. I've jumped back to the mini carrier as well, because I've also added a new destroyer to the fleet. With the simple weapons that have come into with the last update, I've also included autocannons, and I've been fiddling around with them and made ship that relies on them rather nicely and can make effective use of them. I really do wonder why they turn themselves upside down when building. Really, honestly. At any rate, it should right itself in a second anyway. It uses. I'm better off just teleporting over there and putting him upright. Can't really describe what he does with when he's wrong way around. So yeah, this is the turret he's got on it. 6 autocannons on a 2-axis turret, and I found it's actually surprisingly very effective, especially against lightly armoured vehicles. Doesn't do so bad against medium armoured vehicles actually, because of the high rate of fire. Something that I think will make a nice complement to my destroyer fleet as well, and hopefully that might actually kill something along the way as well. That would be nice, eh? At any rate, I'll just fast forward through this so you don't have to sit here watching it getting built. Okay, now we have it in all its glory. Oh wait, what? Oh yeah, that's going to be the Lightning Hood's fleet. Okay, so the Fury's up against a dagger, a diode, and a diode.
Moving out.
Fairly confident he can hold the line against these guys. If not, we've got the Courageous and the Hornet nearby to come into the fray. So without further ado, yep, you know it, we'll get this show on the road. And it looks like the units aren't too weak and shabby either. Thankfully, neither are we. So I think what we'll do, looks like the Wildcats are coming far enough on the big one. Ouch, that's never a good sign. Yeah, like I said, I really need to do away with these anti-missile cannons. They really haven't lived up to their expectations. And it looks like 1 or 2 missiles just finding the target there, despite him trying to evade them rather aggressively. And look at the poor swordfish circling behind. And of course, once he's in the water, the torpedoes are going to do quite a bit of damage to them. It looks like the rest of them are down for the count, and look at that. Missile acrobatics. In fact, I don't know where the rest of the units are. Are they over there? So against all four of my aircraft and my carrier, I really don't think he's going to be much of a threat. Nope, there he goes. Rest in peace. I think that wasn't too difficult to challenge. I think probably what I'm better off doing is getting some aircraft on a Hornet and trying to launch an attack that way. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Right, I've now updated the Hornet with some aircraft to do a bit of damage with. I'm familiar with the Wildcats on the side at the top. Just scroll down a bit. Also got swordfish torpedo bombers, the roguelite bomber, and the scythe heavy bomber, or medium bomber, I suppose. Depends on your perception, really. At any rate, I'm going to send these against the resource zone up there and liberate it. I think they should be in range. Yep, he's in range even at this distance. And away they go, into the distance. And it looks like the enemy base is actually opening fire runners. So they do have some weapons after all. I think the Wildcat should, well, not very long range, mind you, from the looks of it. I think the Wildcat should be able to throw out flares that should divert most of the missiles. Or the speed should be able to throw them off at the very least. I'm hoping they draw most of the fire, actually. Just leaving my rest of my units free to do all the damage. And yep, there go the flares. Not diverting as many as I'd like, actually, unfortunately. Just take a little bit of time for the rest of my units to get in. Because the Wildcats are pretty damn fast, actually, all things considered. I can do is bring him back for repairs. I could if he wasn't AI-ed. It looks like he's taken out a couple of my Wildcats. And nonetheless, the rest of my units will come in there and redeem them. I think the size should be able to take most of them out, actually. Let's see it once he actually gets overhead and releases the bombs. I think the radar guided bombs as well. Yep, there we go. Bombs away. Zoom in on them. Because they're bombs as well, it means they can't be shot down, can't be targeted by the anti-missile lasers. Whereas the rest of them looks like they can be. Even though it looks like not too brilliant, their anti-missile defences. Yep, that's beautiful. Meantime, I better bring back some of these ones that are damaged. Yeah, yes, it's always embarrassing when I lose units like this. The Wildcats aren't too bad, actually. You've actually seen those in previous campaigns, so you know they're decent enough. Ironically, the lower tier units are actually doing the most damage here. When worst comes to the worst, I can always bring my carrier interaction. It does look like the bombs and combination of the bombs and missile cannon attacks are actually doing the job. Just need Scythe to get overhead again and release another bomb load. Yeah, they're in fairly good condition, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem. The rogue bombs away. Oh, the main bombs away as well from the Scythe. With them being overhead as well, kind of struggling to target them, which means we've got a slight advantage there. Yep, the advanced Wildcat fighters might not have done so good, but the lower tech units, bombers, have done a lot more effectively. More a learning experience, if nothing else. But I think that's it for his base, and so let's watch its integration and then go in there and grab that resource zone, because we love resources. Okay, it's time to conquer the next enemy territory. Hopefully my The aircraft will have a bit of a better showing this time.
Listening.
So the Hornet, that's a Katyusha, that's a Hornet, it's going into position
Moving
near
out.
there. We're going to send a Katyusha
Listening. Moving out.
to cross the border and provoke him. Deliverance is making its way slowly up there, so even if the Hornet fails, we've still got that to count on.
Moving out. Listening.
That's a fast set of units there. We're up against the Diode, Beluga Elite, Beluga Elite, Beluga Elite, Diode, and a Diode. I don't think I've missed any. Yeah, quite a few Diodes there. So we'll jump on him. Well, this time we'll bring the carrier into play as well. Okay, for better or worse, the aircraft are away now. Turn the AI on so we can get the lasers coming into action. We'll get the first major air-to-air campaign battle underway. Their units are repairing themselves, but then again, social mind as well, so that kind of evens it out a little bit. I think in retrospect, I probably need to update the design of the Hornet a little bit. I've noticed it's got no repair tentacles on it, so kind of makes it hard to repair the units in between battle. I think what it needs is some of those, and maybe some AI to get the aircraft to launch themselves automatically, just to make it a bit more efficient, really. And because I'm a bit lazy as well. Looks like units engaging all around now. I think what I'll do though is I'll get... Oh, looks like he's down already and out of the battle. Yeah, I think I probably should make a priority of targeting him actually, since he looks rather mean.
Engaging now.
Yep, everyone targets him. And it looks like one of their units is splattered against my carrier rather nicely. I'm guessing two by the judging by the fact that they collapsed into the ground. I don't think I've taken too bad losses, so maybe speaking too soon. Yeah, they've absolutely ripped the side open on this. Yeah, that's not too good at all. I think the pitch should compensate and right it up again. Slowly. But since the lasers have stopped firing, I'm thinking that might be it for the enemy units. I might have killed them all. Somewhat costly victory, mind you. Yeah, bit of a Pyrrhic victory. But thankfully, I think that's the last of their 8 units from that territory. So pull it out of play and get some repairs done on it. Yep, but that's the last of that. So we can actually launch an attack against this unit here. And to stop me getting a bit of deja vu, I think I'll use the Deliverance when it eventually gets into position. That's probably going to take some time. Okay, we got Deliverance up against a Tesla, which I might have fought before, but I don't recall, and a couple of Beluga Elites. I'll take down those. Might as well do the resource zone as well, since I've got clear line of sight. And I'll probably do the village next, and that should clear out this part of their territory rather nicely. What we need to do first of all is take down his enemy units.
Listening. Engaging now.
Yep, we can just switch to those and take those down, since I think the missiles from that base are going to fall, yep, considerably short. But these guys have actually quite a decent laser on them. Obviously I want to take them out of the equation as soon as possible. Kind of an odd design to them as well. Look like a kind of flying tank or something. It looks like we've got one of them at least, so I just need to take down his buddy before he causes too much problems for me. We've really got a Katyusha spawning in there. No, guess not. I'm not having too much luck at the minute. Well, then again, considering the carnage I've just seen unleashed on him. And now we get to see what he does to an enemy base within reach. Although thankfully the AI is smart enough to realise this Tesla that's spawning in is actually the bigger threat. Quite rightly as well. Let's have a closer look at him. Interesting design, but it looks like his lasers are a bit of all over the place. Thankfully it'll reduce the damage we're receiving, and if he carries on getting close enough, the crams are going to be in range of him. But then again, it looks like it's stopped and is sinking now, so that puts him out of the equation. Let's see if we get some hits with the cram cannons. Oh, we're satisfied with it when those things hit. Meh, if and when. And for some reason he's trying to be a submarine. But thankfully there should be the torpedoes coming to play against him. Looks like he's got his own torpedoes as well. Yep, he's getting a good solid hammering. Even though my lasers might not be 100% effective when they go through the water, still more than enough to do to mess him up. And now for these poor suffering mobile base that just watched all these dying is thinking, am I going to be next? Short answer will be, yes you are. Why are we not firing on him? Could be the fail-safe or something like that. Yep, fail-safe. I think he's out of range of the cram cannons, but within range of the missiles, torpedoes, and of course the lasers as well. And say a phenomenal range. And he's absolutely shredding him to pieces. It's always a beautiful sight. And I think his AI dead now since, yep, because he's disintegrating. Another glorious victory for the forces of communism, and another nice resource zone for my forces. Glorious. There is, however, something I need to do as well. And of course, what episode will be complete without some atrocities to commit against a village? So we'll put the deliverance up against that little village there. Let's see what we're up against. We've got a Ascension Research Centre, laser turrets, habitation like missile turrets, small habitation units, mediums, barracks, and a laser turret. So I think, considering the close range of it and the power we have on the deliverance, this is going to be like baby seal clubbing. But that's never a bad thing when it's someone else is playing the seals. Let's have a look at the village and see what we've got. Yeah, it looks like finally the terrain's loaded. And yep, it looks like lasers are making short work of their laser turrets. Unfortunately, something this small can't really support much infrastructure behind it powering it. But nevertheless, it'll provide easy targets for us and easy materials as well, which is never a bad thing. So all we need to do now is just sit back and watch the carnage unfold. Much quicker than going through the flayers villages. Isn't it much handier when you've got a massive, stupidly powerful laser on your side? We'll just see some beautiful explosions going off there, and once the crams pick up on this unit, they'll start blowing them up rather nicely. It does look rather impressive. I think it should have some kind of lasers on. I think they're probably going to be laser defenses, actually. But they're not going to be able to stop this onslaught anyway. Yep, I think he is actually disintegrating now. In fact, I think they're all disintegrating, actually. Sooner or later, that is. And yep, that's a rather easy victory. It means the tower completely belongs to us now. So we have clear access to the resource zones now. So I think at this point, the Lightning Hoods are no longer a threat. We've got the resources, got their headquarters. So I think what we can do is possibly look on to the next campaign. And of course, it's going to be one of the worst enemies as well, Scarlet Dawn, who I think I'll need to face sooner rather than later, really. But anyway, that's going to be the next episode, so thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Like, comment and subscribe if you liked it. And I'll see you in the next video when I launch an all-out attack on the Scarlet Dawn.